on the Xiaomi Live app.
You should see the comments to see whether they want me to unbox it now.
Simone is saying, shut up. Irene is saying, too long foreplay. Lumiel is saying, open the box. Tadashi is saying, come on. Okay, all right, fine. I think I got it. Okay. So, okay, open. All right, hit the love button. All right, so let's take a look here, guys. Why don't we come close? So this is what we're talking about here. This is the Mi Drone. You're taking an exclusive first look at it. And first of all, I'm going to take out the gimbal, which is right here. It usually comes neatly packed in a separate box, but this is the sort of prototype unit here. So I'm going to take everything out neatly, and I'm going to set it here on the table. So first of all, let's take out these covers. These are sort of soft covers that protect the motors here, or the rotors. It's called a rotor, not a motor. All right, so let me put that here, and take it out. Not make a mess. And I'm going to take out the controller, which we'll look at in a bit as well. I'll show this to you in a second. Okay. What else do we have here? So this is the battery, and we'll talk about this in detail in just a second. Along, of course, with the battery charger, which is right here, including the charger cable. And of course, what are we missing? What are we missing, guys? What are we missing? We're missing the propellers. So the propellers are right here. And I'll put that neatly on the desk here in just a second. And we have two sets of propellers. I'm going to take only one set out. And these are the propeller guards, or shields, as I like to call them. And I was going to take these. Okay. Now why don't we just make this neat, shall we? So we've got two propellers here. Got these guys. And then the two propellers right here. That's the controller. That's the battery. Let's have the battery closer here. Battery and charger. Let's keep them close together. That's the controller, and this is the magic gimbal. Hoping this can work as well. Alright, check this out. Oh, take a photo? Looks pretty good. Take a photo. What do you guys think? Anyone see a photo?
Yeah. One, two.
Okay, one more. Too bright.
Yeah.
You got one.
Hugo, check out the number of love on your Facebook.
Pretty cool, right? All right. Wow, we're approaching 6.6 thousand live viewers on Facebook. Guys, if you're just joining us, this is Hugo, and you are here for the Mi Drone live unboxing, live here on Facebook. I introduced the product to everyone who's watching, and I just started the unboxing, as you can see here, and now we're going to put it together. So thank you guys for joining, and I'll be looking for your questions as we go here as well. Okay, so what should we do first? Jack, should we do propellers to start?
Yeah, just prop up the stand.
Yeah. Okay, so this is what it looks like when you take it out of the box. You can see that it's very, very thin. I made the joke that Celine didn't like earlier, that IKEA could sell this product because it's so flat. Well, we're going to make it stand up right here. So what you do is just with these little legs, and basically the landing gear, and it's locked into place. If I want to basically put it back up, basically just slide this little guy here. Up.
Yeah, just push in front.
Just push it.
In front.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Can't be too delicate with these things. And push it this way. And we can make it go back up. Right, so we're going to keep it lineared out. We're going to be assembling this guy. So I'm going to start with the propellers. Is that right?
Yep.
What you guys will notice here is red, and then silver, and then red, and then silver. Now, here's the idea. This is a bit too complicated for me to know exactly how to explain, but it's roughly that by having rotors that are spinning in different directions, so two spinning one way, like this, and then two spinning the other direction, you are going to give this device a little more stability. If you had the rotors all going in the same direction, it's something about angular momentum that I don't know how to explain anymore, but I used to be able to. Jonathan can probably do a far better job of doing this. But it basically gives you more stability. Then you're going to match red to red, red to red. And when you look here on the propeller, it will tell you in which direction that you're going to attach it. So basically, you just put it on, you give it a whirl. Now, you don't have to worry too much about tightening it, because as it turns on, it will tighten itself automatically just by the virtue of the fact that it's spinning. So I'm going to put that one on. This one I should attach with a clockwise movement. So that's done. It will attach. Then we're going to do the other, use the other gray or silver here. So that attaches as well. And this is the other red, which attaches counterclockwise. So we do that here. Okay. So I've got the propellers attached, just double checking if they're in place here. Okay, so this is what it looks like with the propellers attached. There you go. And then a little pause. Good job. Now you're looking straight into the battery here. Obviously that's where the battery goes. And here's the battery. We'll say a few words about the battery. It's actually a pretty heavy battery. It's 5,000 milliamp hours, and this is a 17.4 volt battery, as I said earlier. It is about the same capacity in terms of sort of total stored energy, but a much higher power throughput than what you'd expect, obviously, to find on a phone. So at the end of the day, you obviously can drive a lot more with a 17.4 volt battery compared to a 4.4 volt battery, which you would find on the phone. This battery is about 2/3 of the combined weight of the entire product. Right? So this is extraordinarily light. I can feel right here that this is lighter than this. In fact, this feels like about half the weight of this, which is in fact just about right. The battery comes in and out very easily, so I'm going to attach it right here. So it's attached, and if I want to take it off, you can see here, we've got a kind of a fast release mechanism, so I can hold it like this, press that button, and it just comes straight out. Right, so it's very easy to swap batteries. And the charger is right here. So it's a much larger charger, of course, than the phone charger. What you do is you just snap this out, snap this little cover out. You see the two contact pins over there. You see the contact pins on either side of the battery here. There's one on this side, right here. There's one on this side. All you got to do is just connect it like this. Connect the charger, and you're charging your battery. So it's pretty easy to do. There you go. So I'm going to put the battery back in here. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to attach the gimbal. So I'm going to put it like this. And it's safe for your Mi Drone to basically lie on its back. It's designed such that you have a pretty good position to attach the gimbal. So this is the gimbal right here. We're going to connect it. So basically, I put it in here. I have a slide lock mechanism into place right there. It's now secure. And turn it on. And there it is. It's interesting here that you see is this mechanism that's using these sort of rubbery foundation. This is a essentially what makes it vibrate a lot less. It absorbs the vibration of the rotors of the engines up above. Okay. So what should we do next? You want to show the lights, or should we show the controller first?
Power it on.
Yeah, okay, so we're going to power it on. Now, if you guys have tried drones in the past, it's important to have a safety mechanism for powering on and for powering off. You don't want to accidentally power it on or power it off. So the way to turn it on, it's always going to be like this. You're going to use a two-step process. You tap quickly, and then you tap and hold. And that will turn it on. You can see the lights growing here. That's the signal that it's on. And then you see right away the lights right here. Now, what do these lights mean? Basically, these are orientation lights. When it's flying, basically it's flying away from you, like this. Left is always going to be red. Right is always going to be green. And the other lights basically don't really matter. They will
Tell you to the front.
they tell you to the front, and they glow, right? So they make it look like you have a proper air vehicle here. And the idea is, of course, so that you know when you're driving in which direction it's facing, it becomes easy for you. What you see here too, this is a gimbal, and I talked to you about how it stabilizes automatically later. The idea is that it wants to essentially be pointing in the same direction, so no matter what you do, it's always going to be roughly pointing in the same way. See, well, that's pretty cool, right? It doesn't matter in which direction I turn, it's always going to try and stay pointing in the same direction. So that's the stabilizer. It's kind of like a steady cam. If you guys are into films, it's basically like a steady cam. So that's the gimbal right there. Okay, so I'm going to let it rest here for a bit. Should we talk about this now? Okay. Okay. So of course, when you're starting to fly this drone, if you're sort of new with this kind of technology, we strongly recommend rather than flying with sort of open propellers like this, you should attach these what we call propeller guards. So basically, they attach right here at the bottom. You basically have to take out a couple of screwdrivers and you attach them on all the four sides. By the way, we actually ship the Mi Drone with these proper tools. So it's nice with a screwdriver right here. So you have exactly what you need. This is a non-standard, well, somewhat standard, but it's neither a flat nor a Phillips. It's a non-magnetic screwdriver that you can use to attach the propeller guards. And when you attach them, this is what it looks like. Actually, it's pretty cool, pretty badass, in my opinion. Get it vertically again. And so this is what it looks like with the propeller guards on. All right.
Why don't you post one for Facebook Live so they can do a screenshot?
You guys want to do a screenshot? All right, screenshot.
Screenshot and paste in the comments.
Take a screenshot and post in the comments. It's pretty cool, right? Pretty meta.
Yeah.
Will I see the screenshots here?
Later.
I will. I will see them later.
You'll see it later.
I see. Cool. All right. We'll give it back to you guys. All right. So now we're going to turn to the. Now we're going to turn to the remote controller. Okay. So here it is. So this is the controller for Mi Drone, and there's quite a few things that I'll mention to you here. Hi, buddy. Okay. Yeah, Mi Bunny is pretty well tuned in here. Okay, so this is the controller. Ergonomic design. It kind of fits nicely in your hands. It's got a rubbery track here in the back. Make sure that it stays stable. It doesn't slip out. The first thing I pointed out earlier was this PCB antenna. So this is the same type of antenna technology that we use in our highest end Xiaomi routers. And this is basically due to the longest possible range. And when you're flying your drone, basically you want to position the antenna sort of like this. That will give you the best flying range. What else? You can attach your phone right here. So basically you pull this up You can see that little flap comes out to hold it in place, and then you can put a phone pretty much in the size here, so that you can see the live video as you're shooting. I'll just push this down and show you the rest.
Sure. Just put in a phone.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, there you go. So put it right here, and I'll slap my Mi 5 over here. It's pretty easy to do. You do not need two people to do this by yourself, and there it is. Okay, so it works pretty well. Take it out pretty easily, and just push that flap in, and push it out. Okay. Now let me show you the buttons. Let's talk about the buttons here. So the way, like I said, like I showed you earlier for powering on the drone, same safety mechanism applies to the remote controller. The last thing you want is for the remote controller to accidentally turn off while you're flying, for example, or to accidentally turn on when you do not want to fly. So same mechanism applies. You tap once and then you hold, and that will turn it on. Except it didn't. Let's try it again. There you go. So that just turned it on. You see the lights here. But what do these buttons do? Power button. This is a takeoff and landing button, so it will take off to a hovering altitude of 4 meters when you hit it once, and then if you hit it again when it's flying, it will just land nicely down on top of wherever it is when you press that button. Up here is the flying mode. So you've got two flying modes. You've got the manual regular flying mode, which is also how you're going to do autopilot functions, or you can go to this mode right here. It's a toggle. That's the home flying, as you can see. Basically, this means the drone will start flying back to the exact place from where it took off, and it will land in the exact place from where it took off. Now, the interesting thing is, as it's flying home, you can drive it as well. You can sort of take over. The idea is maybe the drone went too far away from you, you want to bring it back, but rather than figure out how to bring it back by yourself, you just switch back to home flying mode, and then you can bring it back and obviously take it over again, or go back to manual flying mode. It's really easy to do. The controllers are as you would expect. Here you go up and down, you can also turn, and this is the latitudinal navigation. So you go forward, you go back, you go left, you go right, essentially, and you do this. Right, so with this guy here, you do this, and this guy here, you do this, essentially. And then lastly, there's a little attachment here. If you want to wear the controller, you can just wear the controller with a strap by attaching it here pretty securely. Other couple things that I would mention to you. First of all, are these two buttons right here, or these two controls right here. This guy, as well as this guy here. This are your camera buttons. So this is how you're going to control camera movement. Basically up and down, and from one side to the next. That's how you control the camera. And then down here, you've got two buttons, one for video and one for photo. Actually, can't remember which one is which. But they have a different texture, so you always know which one is which. One for photo, one for video. And like I said earlier, with the 4K camera, you can capture not only 4K video, but you can also capture 12 megapixel stills in raw format. So you can get raw format imagery out of the Mi Drone with the 4K gimbal. Which means you can bring it straight into Lightroom, aperture, whatever it might be, and do it as you would if you had taken that photo on a DSLR camera. So I'm going to turn this guy off, same procedure as before. Tap quick and then tap hold. So that turns it off. And I'll put it down here. Okay. I'll talk a little bit about the gimbal just one more time, which you guys can see here. As I mentioned earlier, it will try to face in the same direction no matter what I do. It's kind of like a steady cam. Pretty cool, right? Let me try sort of a little bit more aggressive in how I do this. It will always try to face the same direction. This comes in two options for the camera, 4K option and 1080p option. You look at the 4K model here. Sony sensor, 12.4 megapixel for the 4K camera. And it is it 14 or 16? So for the screen's not here. For the 1080p camera, it's a little bit higher resolution for the 1080p camera, and it's got you can see a semi-spherical lens here. This gives you about 104 degrees of wide angle. 104 is wide enough to give you a good image without any distortion, since you don't really want a fisheye type experience with this lens. What else? You've got basically 3 motors here that are essentially the thing that makes the camera stay stable like this. The structure of this gimbal is a combination of carbon fiber and polycarbonate. Polycarbonate, by the way, is a fancy word for plastic. But carbon fiber and polycarbonate combination. It's a pretty high-end piece of technology. We have 14 circuit boards in here, and all of it obviously is packed pretty closely together, but this is pretty high-end technology here. We wanted the best possible camera that one can put on Mi Drone so that you get the best images out of it. All right. What do you guys think so far?
You just crossed 8.6 thousand viewers on Facebook
I
Live.
see 8.8 thousand here now.
8.8.
Why don't you guys ask some questions? I'm going to take some questions here, then we're going to keep going with the demo. What happens if flying and battery gets over? That question came from Rosine. What happens if it's flying and the battery gets over? Will it fall from the sky or land safely? Funny you ask, because, and I will like your comment, first of all, thanks for asking the question. What?
The app will just prompt you there's low battery and advise you to use that.
All right. I have no idea what you guys are talking about. But anyways, what happens is the drone is always keeping track of how much battery it has left and how far away it is from quote-unquote home. Home is where it took off from. So if it goes beyond the point at which it would run, basically would not have enough battery to come back home, it is turn on and come back. So it knows when it doesn't have more sufficient battery, and it will come back and land before it quote-unquote falls from the sky. Let's see what other questions you guys have here. All right. What other questions do you guys have? Can you fly to the moon? Well, this Mi Drone requires an atmosphere because it essentially is using mechanical lift, which is why it has propellers. If you needed, if you wanted to go to the moon, you have to add jet propulsion to it, which we're not quite there yet. So we cannot quite fly to the moon yet. We're moving pretty high. When it runs out of battery, we'll start recording video. It will always calculate the amount of battery needed to come back home without stopping the recording, right? So that's how it works. The range of the drone, we would recommend you stay within 2 kilometers, obviously because that's the range, the maximum range from which you can stream live video. So that's what we would recommend, to try to stay within 2 kilometers. By the way, it's pretty far. That's for the 4K, 2 kilometers for the 4K, and then 1 kilometer for the other model, for the 1080p model.
Also depends battery from the city or out in the open.
And of course, depends on the kind of environment that you're flying as well, as Jack was pointing out. Autopilot, Jack is asking about autopilot. Do we have autopilot functions? We have several different autopilot functions, which I mentioned earlier. I'll talk about these quickly. So the first autopilot mode is choose a point on a map. So you can say fly to this particular location. You say autopilot, and it will fly straight to that location, and you'll get there. That's autopilot mode number 1. Autopilot mode number 2 is a flight path or a waypoint-based autopilot. You choose different points on a map, and you can essentially go from one point to the next. It will basically fulfill that path that you created for it. And the idea here is to maybe visit a few different points that you want to film. So, for example, you want to show a resort, and you want to show this pool and that part of the resort and that beach and that that area. And what's cool flying it. You don't need to worry about driving. Then what you can do is you can just control the camera, right? So you can essentially just be a cinematographer flying a helicopter, essentially is what it looks like. So you just basically control the camera, so you can control where it's pointed, and the drone will just fly its path for you. And autopilot mode number 2, which is waypoint flight path. The third autopilot mode is what we call circle around. So you pick a point, an object. It could be, could be a tree, it could be a building, it could be a group of people, and you say just circle around that group. Just go around that group, and the camera stays pointed at the center, but of course you can move it around as well. You specify the altitude, and you specify the diameter of that circle. It could be a few meters, or it could be a few hundred meters. So you could be circling around maybe a group of people, for example, who are taking a photo or celebrating or having dinner outdoors or whatever it might be. Or you could circle around the volcano crater, right, which is much, much bigger, and film that and get all the beautiful footage. So that's autopilot. It can come back home automatically as well. This is the home mode that I showed you guys earlier. You just slide into home mode, and you'll come back home. It's kind of an autopilot as well. Let's see. Other questions? How long can you fly for? Good question. The Mi Drone will fly for up to 27 minutes on a single battery charge, right? So almost half an hour of continuous, non-stop flying time.
Something else is the resolution recorder is what you see on the phone.
The resolution recording is what you see on the phone. Well, it won't be if you're recording 4K video, of course. And in fact, even if you're recording 1080p video, what you see on the phone live is 720p video. And then, of course, it will extract the high resolution video from the device after the fact. It's like the video on Facebook has a problem. Are you still seeing it? Doesn't people look at here? I'm just getting this thing.
Okay.
Yeah? Okay. So let's just make sure the phone here. No problem. I'll give you an interesting question. Can we add neat power banks and increase the flight time? That is a good idea. I'm afraid it probably won't work too well. First of all, because the power banks will not have an energy throughput that this product would need, and also you're going to increase the weight of the device, which is potentially not a good idea.
Or you can always get extra battery.
But you can always, exactly as Jack just said, you can always buy extra batteries, and you can have a couple batteries with you, so you can easily carry 2 or 3, 4 batteries with you, and you can have almost a couple of hours of continuous recording capability. Of course, you just have to bring your Mi Drone back and then swap the battery. Too much of hand wave. Okay. I'll try not to wave my hand. I'll put it
About micro SD storage.
micro SD storage.
8 gig to 64 gig, plus 10.
There you go. So you can have an SD card of up to 64 gigs, class 10 SD card, which will give you very fast transfer speed. Class 10 because you need to be able to store very quickly since you're shooting potentially at 4K resolution. Somebody is asking about the controller battery. So the controller battery is actually built in, and the controller is something that you'll charge. So what you have here is a power. This is power. So this is how you charge the controller, and this is essentially a USB output. And I don't actually know what the USB output is for. Do you guys know what the USB output is for?
Oh, yeah, to connect it to the phone.
To connect to the phone.
Yes, because the connection to the phone is separate.
It's tether. Yeah. So this is probably an interesting design question. Why tether and not do it wireless?
It's a stable connection.
It's a stable connection, and you don't have to go through pairing and all that stuff. So you just connect the phone directly to here, and of course you want to keep your controller charged. When you power it on, or if you just tap the power button, you'll see what the charge looks like. It looks like we're at